Got assaulted. Husband has changed. I'm a little overwhelmed and unsure of what I'm doing. A year ago I started a job at a non-profit that I quickly had to quit because of unwanted advances from a coworker. I took it to HR, but because it's a small company with no formal departments and nothing came of it. The man has since been sending me messages and stalking me. He sends me messages anonymously detailing where he saw me out and what he saw me doing. My husband has never left my side through any of the things this man did or said, and he's helped me try to take legal measures which went nowhere because I have no proof he's the one sending me the messages. Multiple times he was sent messages claiming I was cheating on him and he laughed them off. It came to a point that I became afraid of leaving the house alone, and I've made sure someone is always with me. I guess I got lucky because of the pandemic because my job was remote, but last month I went to work again and that's where my life went to hell. Because I didn't feel safe coming home alone. Since it gets dark my husband always comes to get me. This time however my mill got sick and he asked his childhood friend to do it. He's been a good friend to us. I get along with his wife, we're godparents to their kids. But when he was coming he got lost and got late without informing me. I don't know why I assumed he would reach at the same time my husband does and ended up going to the basement parking. I got attacked and I can't go into the detail of what happened, so please don't ask me. Husband's boyfriend found this moment to roll into the parking, realized what was happening and tried to attack my stalker. Someone noticed the commotion and called the cops. Our friend ended up getting cut with a knife. His wounds were not that serious, but this has caused problems. His wife won't stop saying I involved them in my issue. My husband feels immense guilt that he got hurt as well. Things are crazy right now, but it feels like overnight my husband has changed into someone else. He keeps alternating between trying to make sure I'm okay and snapping at me to stay indoors. We have 2 okay days and a third where he's snapping all day. I broke a glass and he yelled at me because he thought I cut myself. We had a healthy relationship that most people used as an example of how to do things. We've supported each other through our degrees and career goals. We split the chores or home. We work out together. We were happy, and now all he does is snap at me all day. I said I wanted to visit my mom's grave and he basically said no. He's never told me what to do or restricted my movement. He gave me the courage to get a new job and get back to work. I feel like I'm at the end of YM rope. He's even started suggesting I move to my sister's house. She lives in another state and wouldn't even take me in. Today he told me he feels no love for me anymore, only fear. I'm not even sure what that means. I told him he can walk if he doesn't want to stay with me. I won't hold it against him, but he got angry and told me to fuck myself and called me selfish. He went to sleep on the couch. We used to be happy, but all I do now is mess everything up. There are days I wish I would just drop dead and fix the problem for good. I've ruined his life. He was this gentle, kind man. Even if he got mad, he used to talk things out. Now I wake up to him finding my presence irritating, and I fall asleep feeling the same. I don't know what to do. You are both suffering from trauma, grief, shame, guilt and fear. Please get professional help for you both. You both can heal from this orange heart, orange heart, orange heart. Both of you need to be in individual counseling immediately. Both of you have been exposed to severe trauma, and this type of stress and grief really isn't something easily handled on your own. Please call a therapist who specializes in PTSD and encourage your husband to see someone as well. Once you guys have processed some of this solo, consider merging some sessions or starting work with a couples counselor to navigate some of this together. I can't emphasize enough how much you guys need to get professionals involved. Please do that ASAP. You both need counseling. He's feeling guilty and bad that he couldn't protect you, and got his friend hurt. Not that it's actually his fault, everything here is on the attacker. Is the attacker still at large after the police were called? If you have no way to put him away, another attack will happen even if you live like a hermit. And you can't live like a hermit forever, so you'll need to have a serious discussion when you're both calm about what you'll do. Move away, keep living life, but work out a system. Exist only in your house, not recommended. He probably feels guilty both for his friend and also for you being assaulted. Had I gone on time at the usual spot, none of this would have happened. He might be feeling resentment towards you right now, but none of this is your fault and you have not ruined his life. He needs therapy individually to deal with the guilt and with you to heal your relationship. Might not be a bad idea to take a break for a little while he's processing it all. Your husband blames himself for his friend getting stabbed. That's a pretty huge thing to have to bear, and it sounds like he has PTSD from the affair. His reaction to you breaking a glass means he's suffering anxiety about both of your safety. He's probably walking around all day, fearing when the next attack might come. If the police cannot help with the stalker, then the only solution I can see is that you both get away from where you are. Move to another city, another part of the country. Just get away from the awful situation you are in. Once your husband feels you are both safe, a lot of these problems will be over. First of all, you both need to get into couples counseling. This is not okay, it's not your fault and he is blaming you. If you don't want to stay with him, it is crucial that you go to therapy alone. He is not treating you like a person and it is not your fault you got attacked. Sounds like he is super stressed and has to be your constant bodyguard. You both need therapy and quickly. I really hope the stalker issue is over, but it is not over with your husband. Almost sounds like some PTSD. He now can only feel like your protector, not your lover, partner. He is constantly scared and that can mess anyone up. I would recommend you both picking up and moving if the stalker situation is that severe. Get a large breed dog and have it trained as a service animal both to protect you and help with the trauma you've suffered. You should be able to take the dog with you most places. This will allow husband to turn off protector mode a lot more. I'd also change jobs again. Change where you live, preferably far away. Lock down your socials and don't post any private identifiable info anywhere. And obviously lots of therapy for both of you. After 7 years of marriage, my husband started hitting me in front of our daughter. I've been married to my husband for almost 8 years now. We've been dating for 1 year before getting married. Our marriage was always stable, nothing like extraordinary romantic, but always predictable and functional. From the early stages of our marriage, my husband would control the money, meaning keep my salary on his account and just give me the monthly allowance he thought was appropriate. Though this was some sort of mental abuse, while he claimed that I manage money poorly and that this way is better for me. Fast forward some years later, we excelled in our careers, made significant savings and investments, so I know that him managing the money was a good thing. We have delayed the parenthood based on his demand until we come to a better financial position, while we're always making enough to have a child at any point of time. I suffered due to this decision as I've always wanted to be a mother, but didn't have much say in it. When he decided that we should start trying, our mid-30s, for a baby, it turned out that he has fertility issues and our struggle took a bit longer with 2 rounds of IVF. My dream was finally coming true. I was about to become a mother, what I always wanted. By the time I gave birth, we already had enough savings and passive income that would keep us going for decades. However, instead of being allowed to enjoy the motherhood, my husband decided that I should go back to work 6 weeks after birth. My heart was breaking, but though I'm doing what's best for my family. My work assumes 60-ish hours of work per week with travels included, which would sometimes make me be away for 100 hours per week. All that sacrifice with a husband making USD 250k net and me saving most of my income, like 70%, for years. Anyways, I thought this is what I'm supposed to do. Sometimes last year my husband, all of a sudden, started physically abusing me from time to time. Nothing like major injuries, but a lot of yelling and pushing, pulling my hair and making scenes in front of our daughter. He would always say it's my fault, that I'm irritating him, or he would accuse me of flirting with some random man. Never happened. I would always try to keep peace and keep the family together because of our daughter. Last month we went on holiday and some nights I would stay in the room with our kid after dinner and he would go for a drink too. This was fine with me, the kid was tired and I saw no big issue. However, few days ago I was checking something on IG and I saw that he is following one girl who was at the resort at the same time as us, and she follows him back. When I confronted him, he said that he never spoke with her, she just added him. When I said that she wouldn't be able to do so without him telling her his name, he said that she probably has asked the hotel staff. What load of BS. When I didn't want to accept his apology, he got angry and started beating me, threatening to kill me. We live in a Middle Eastern country, it's hard to prove things like this to police. My question is there an angle I'm not seeing? Meaning I'm doing something wrong, or I'm married to an increasingly abusive person. You need to leave now. If not for your sake, then for your daughter. You want her to grow up seeing her mom get punched around by a cheating loser. Do you not think he will do that to her? She didn't sign up for this and you're putting her in danger. Get out. Get help and be a better mom for your girl. Please get in touch Ebby45. They're a crisis counselor and have a great compilation of resources for victims of abuse on their homepage. You need to start preparing your escape plan. It sounds like you can see your husband has a history of abusing you through financial and emotional abuse. Now it's turned physical. Get out now. Please leave him and keep your daughter safe. If he keeps hitting you in front of her, and you do nothing, you are telling your little girl that it's acceptable for a man to beat his partner. It is never acceptable for one partner to beat another. Check out Ebby 45. She is a domestic abuse counselor and has posted some great info. Also check out the National Domestic Violence Hotline at thehotline.org. They are a good resource. You might want to read, Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. It's about how the minds of abusers work. This relationship is not going to get better. Please start making an exit plan. Get yourself, and your daughter, away from that abusive asshole. Best of luck. You're doing nothing wrong, you married an increasingly abusive person. They're very good at hiding their inner selves until they think you're sufficiently locked down, then gradually increase the abuse, which is exactly what your man has done. Get yourself to a lawyer and get out before any permanent harm is done to your child. Don't be afraid of leave. You have a job, you can support your daughter alone. You should owe a plan. I would start opening your own bank account without telling your husband. Second, try to obtain access to the bank account or the details of it. Where is it? How much money is there? Try to obtain password or access online. You've been abused for years, it's really hard for you to make a right decision. Right now you're thinking that divorce is the last thing you want to, but it's the only way. You think we are all wrong, and it's pretty obvious, everyone in your position thinks so. You'll reach this thought one day. The only difference you can realize it now, or in next few years, when you'll find yourself in a hospital after he hit you badly. The other way you can realize it, when your daughter won't respect you anymore, and start treating you as bad as he treats you. It's inevitable, every victim of abuse think that, it won't come so far, but it will, surely. You know what to do. My 31 female husband, 30 male, turned out to be someone completely different. Buckle up because it's a long and confusing story. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for here. Just therapeutic, I guess, to type this all out to a bunch of people who have no idea who we are. Everything was so easy with us. We fell in love, moved in together, got engaged, married, baby, the whole damn picture. We traveled, went everywhere together, never spent more than a few days apart. I never once questioned his loyalty or love for me. After we had our daughter, and the pandemic hit, we started bickering a bit more. I suffered from pretty bad PPA, and being stuck at home alone all day without the ability to leave or see family did not help. Unbeknownst to me, my husband was not happy. This is where it gets confusing, as he always told me, I'm so happy with my life, I love my life, we are so lucky. My husband started acting different. He was having anxiety and being a little distant. I knew something was up, but I couldn't figure it out. He went from texting me constantly and sending me random pictures through Instagram, to nothing. One night while he was working overnight, I went through his Instagram. There I found he had been communicating with a girl from work. Not exactly inappropriate, but exactly not how you would want your husband to be speaking to another woman. I confronted him about it. At first he told me I was dreaming and crazy, and then admitted it. We tried to work through it. He said he was depressed, needed time away from his family. This girl was nothing. He would stop, he didn't. He was spiraling right before my eyes. He wouldn't get help. I tried talking him into counseling, marriage counseling, going to see a doctor, nothing. I've laid all my feelings on the line, so there's no question to how I'm feeling. He then went to stay with his parents to get away for a weekend. That weekend has turned into weeks. I tried to be supportive, as at first he was telling me he loved me and wanted to come home to be a family. I've tried giving him his space, as obviously he's struggling and I don't want to add to that. I know he's not thinking entirely rational right now, but it's hard for me to compartmentalize that. Now he just answers everything with, I don't know, I'm not happy in my life. Communication between us is next to non-existent. He's working 12-hour shifts, switching between days and night, 6 days a week. He's not seeing his daughter. He's completely left us. I understand relationships don't work out. It's just hard to wrap my mind around the fact that this person that I thought I knew so well could just up and leave his family. How he could be okay with only seeing her for a few hours every week or so. Thank God our daughter is young and doesn't realize that he left her. I hope he does get help. He says he has a doctor's appointment, but who knows if he's telling the truth or not. I myself am in therapy. I just feel like such a failure. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you. Like I said, I'm not sure what I'm trying to gain by posting this, but it feels good getting it out. I'm so sorry you're going through that, Op. I can only imagine the immense pain you are experiencing. I hope things are going to get better soon, heart. Firstly, do you trust your husband to care for y'all's child alone? Because if you do, then he should still be responsible for helping raise his child. If you don't trust him, then do you have someone you do trust? My mom went through something similar when I was young, and I think having a strong support system or anyone to take care of the kid for some alone time and recuperation is important. Good luck. If the work wife emotional affair didn't end, then it has progressed. That's where he is right now. Maybe not physically there, but definitely emotionally there. The emotional distance you feel, along with the sudden not happy and IDK talk and such, are indicators that he's deep in the affair fog right now. There are so many stories on the infidelity subs that start this way. I mean, it could be that he's got the new daddy blues, but from an outside perspective, the most likely reason for his withdrawal from you and your daughter, which is disgusting emo, is that he's got a shiny new toy to play with. You did not fail at anything, he did. If you haven't already, I would also find a therapist and a divorce lawyer and make sure not to spare any details from your family, and his, frankly. Seems like he is having a personal, life, crisis. Sadly, he shut out both yourself and your daughter. Maybe you can speak to his parenta for advice, seeing that he went back to them. Also try to get therapy for yourself. It's important to understand that sometimes partners grow apart from each other, some more than others. There isn't necessarily any major reason or faults that cause it, so don't be hard on yourself and don't blame yourself for him leaving, because it seems to me that he may have been in his own headspace and never talked to you about it, and that's not your fault. Good luck. He cheated on you and then made you feel bad for him. What a pro. The details can confuse a person. Focus on the macro events. I don't have much advice for you, but I am wishing you the best. Without being super nerdy, I think that this quote from Star Trek is pretty appropriate. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness, that is life. While not quite what you are writing about, it's possible to do nothing wrong and still have things not work out. You are not a failure, and I hope that you eventually find peace with this. Life can get too much, especially with the past year. I think that's totally understandable. However, he's got a family and a big responsibility. He has to get therapy, not run back to his nest, and stops giving a shit about his family. My stepdad, 62 male, is mad I'm not inviting my 31 female brother, 38 male, to my wedding. So here's the short of mine and my brother's childhood and relationship. We tolerated each other when our parents married. I was 8 and my brother was 15. When my brother was in his 20s, he got caught up with a teenage girl who he got pregnant, who is now his wife, 32 female. Over the last 15 years my brother had changed drastically. He used to be a very outgoing and talented artist. Now he's heavily involved in the church, believes in some popular conspiracy theories and thinks modern medicine is evil. We were friends before he met his wife. He actually taught me how to drive. For a few years there we were like real siblings. But since they got married they've both looked down on me as a crazy party girl who worships the devil and has no morals. I've never been a devil worshipper. I was simply in college trying to figure my life out. I am now still in school pursuing a degree in environmental sciences and definitely believe in research-based science over religion. I know they think this is also worshipping the devil. Last week I got engaged to my boyfriend of 6 years. Of course my stepdad alerted the whole family along with my brother and his wife. Neither of them have contacted me to congratulate us even though they saw it on social media. His wife is an influencer. She lives online and I can also see they've both viewed my post. We let my stepdad know my fiancé and I are not planning on inviting either one of them because of how he's treated me over the years, and my stepdad instantly got red-faced mad. He's claiming I'm causing unnecessary friction in the family. But my fiancé and I are the only two paying for this wedding, not our families, and we agree my brother and his wife aren't important to have around for our day. I hate upsetting my stepdad like this, but I don't know how to resolve this without caving. Edit. Since so many people keep asking, my brother's wife was 16 when they met. My brother was 21-22. We don't know exactly how old he was because he has the relationship from the family for a while. Edit 2. Because a few of you have asked if I told my brother about my engagement. I didn't. My stepdad asked if he could tell him the day after our engagement, quite soon I know. I hadn't decided yet if I wanted to tell brother, so I ended up letting my stepdad do it since he was excited about passing on the news. He also told my aunts, uncles who don't have social media. My mother overheard the conversation on speakerphone. She said after my SD told my brother he was calling with good news and that I was now engaged, my brother told him he was too busy to talk and needed to go and cut the conversation short. This was almost a week ago and my brother hasn't called me or SD back about it. Let him be angry. Live your life. Why would your brother and Sil want to go to a devil worshipper's wedding anyway? To perform an exorcism? He's claiming I'm causing unnecessary friction in the family. Unnecessary because he doesn't have to deal with it. He doesn't care about your issues with your brother's disrespectful comments and constant judging of you. Just ignore him too. If he wants to make it a big issue, just leave him out of the wedding too. Your wedding should be a day where you have people you like to be there. Your wedding. Your choice. Just my opinion, but you should set the tone of the relationship from this point forward. If you plan on excluding them forever, then don't invite them. If you foresee attending family gatherings with them in the future, then invite them but seat them in the back and as far away from you as possible. Rehearse some excusing yourself from their company and ask a few trusted people to help you keep the distance. So your stepbrother found Jesus after he statutory raped his wife a few times? Good for him. Fuck that guy. Your wedding. Your rules. Not inviting them is okay. It's your decision, and you aren't doing something bad by not inviting them. Be selfish, and evaluate what would make you happier, what you prefer. Having a wedding with them, they're dealing with family blowback from not inviting them. I do think second option is something you need to consider, as sounds like it'll be a negative element for you. Only you can really weigh which would end up being better for you and your partner. Simple. Vaccinated people only, there's an extra reason to add to your list.